We've all had that one professor, right? The one who just made everything click, maybe completely changed the way you see things. But then what? After the semester's over, how do you say thank you in a way that actually, helps their career? Well, that's what we're going to dig into today. The whole evolution of how we review our professors, comparing the old way with a brand new approach. So let's just start with that scenario. You had an incredible professor. You want to do more than just send a quick email. You want your thanks to mean something, to have a real impact. Where do you even go to do that? That's the big question here. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the old way of doing things. Then we'll look at a totally new kind of feedback. We'll talk about celebrating professors instead of just venting. Then we'll get into how these reviews can have a real impact. And finally, what this all means for the future of praise in academia. Okay, first up, the old way. For literally decades, if you wanted to say something about a professor, there was pretty much one place you went. We all know it. It was the spot you checked before you signed up for classes. And yet, for years, that answer was ratemyprofessors.com. Its whole reason for being was to help students pick their courses. But you have to ask, what kind of culture did that really create? Well, the culture was pretty specific. Its main purpose was basically to help you dodge a bullet, avoid the bad or hard professors. So naturally, it became a place for venting. The loudest voices were often the most frustrated. And of course, who could forget the chili pepper for hotness? It's gone now, thankfully, but it tells you a lot about the vibe. And maybe most importantly, it was a one-way street, just students talking at teachers. So that was the old model. But what if feedback could do more? I mean, what if instead of just being about who to avoid, it could actually be a tool for celebrating great teaching and helping professors grow? And this slide really gets to the heart of it. It's a huge philosophical shift. The old way was all about helping students avoid the bad. The new way, with platforms like academicjobs.com, is built to celebrate the great. You're not playing defense anymore. You're playing offense for the professors who deserve it. This table breaks it down even more. Look at the differences. The tone shifts from just venting to being positive and constructive. The scope, well, it goes from just a few countries to the entire globe. But the biggest game changer? Career integration. One is just a review site floating out there on its own. The other is built directly into an ecosystem where recruiters and universities are looking for talent. That's huge. So let's talk more about this idea of celebrating instead of just venting. It's about shifting the entire focus from criticism to genuine, useful praise. Really, the whole mission is to create a praise-based feedback loop. And look, that doesn't mean you ignore issues. It just means the entire system is built with a different purpose. Its primary goal is positive reinforcement. It's a space designed from the ground up to reward and encourage amazing teaching. And that brings us to this idea of constructive praise. This isn't just, hey, great class. This is feedback that is professional, positive, and designed to actually be useful. It's the polar opposite of anonymous trolling. It's reinforcement that a professor can literally put on their CV to help build their career. Okay, so that all sounds nice in theory, right? But how does this kind of praise actually make a real-world difference? This is where it gets really interesting. Let's just follow the journey of your review. So you leave a positive professional comment. Okay, step one. But it doesn't just sit there. It becomes real, documented evidence of that professor's teaching skill. That kind of data can actually help boost a university's global ranking. And because it's all connected, it helps that professors stand out to recruiters right there in the same ecosystem. Your review becomes a permanent part of their professional story. And the impact isn't just deep, it's wide. I mean, look at this chart. It really says it all. The old model, it covers 3 countries. This new approach is built for the entire world. Because, let's face it, academia is a global community. So, where is all this headed? Well, it's pointing towards a future where feedback is a much more complete and, frankly, useful part of academic life. And here's maybe the coolest part. It's not just for students anymore. This is a 360-degree tool. Colleagues, other professors, and academic peers can all leave feedback too. This paints a much, much richer and more complete picture of who an educator is and the impact they have. So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? It's that the way we give feedback is changing for the better. When you choose a platform like academicjobs.com, which is built for this kind of professional praise, your thank you stops being just another reading. It becomes a true act of gratitude, one that has a real, lasting, and positive impact on a professor's career. Which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. As tools like this become more and more common, are we watching the culture shift right before our eyes? Could this be the end of the anonymous venting era and the real beginning of constructive, career-building praise? It's a pretty exciting thing to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.